this is your second talk.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Shan, and I have Cozy Womb Podcast, and she gets a podcast, and I do the Real Relationship Report with Dungeon and Loudmouth Stereo. And then Mr. Average Joe over here has his own podcast that I want him to introduce and talk about, and then we'll get into the topic and all of that good stuff.
All right. Well, my name's Troy. Nice to meet everybody. I have two podcasts. I have Thoughts of an Average Joe that comes out every Wednesday. That comes back December 8th, every Wednesday at 6 a.m. And then I have the Baby Daddy Chronicles, which comes out every other Monday at 6 a.m.
Okay. So this topic can fall under both, but more so we're aiming towards the Baby Daddy Chronicles and Cozy Womb Podcast, because that is my parenting hat. And I feel like this topic comes under the parenting part. So the title, Setting the Expectation. How about you set the expectation about what this episode gonna be? Because I have thoughts on what it could possibly be, but I just wanted to clarify so I don't segue.
So pretty much, right? What happened was I was watching Insecure when Lawrence Condola was going through it, and I had to go back and watch like the end of season 4 to make sure I remembered exactly what happened, because I'm like, you upset that he's in and out dad, but you set that expectation when you found out you was pregnant and was like, you can be involved as much as you want to be. I'm not going to ruin your life. I'm good. And then when he does exactly that, you get upset and be like, it's not good enough. But I feel like if she would have set that expectation earlier, that, hey, I need you around, he would have been around, because Lawrence wanted to be a dad. I mean, now, I don't know, because they didn't go into it. I'm assuming that he wasn't really there for the pregnancy. But once again, that's because of the expectation that she set. If she would have set like, you can't sit there and be like, oh, like I've been doing, but you ain't give this man, you ain't tell this man exactly what you wanted to be. You wanted to be super mom, and then when shit got really hard, you want to throw it in his face. And I don't think that's really fair, because you gave him the expectation that he could be in and out as much as he wants.
Yeah. So I think a lot of women, whether you're in a relationship or whatever the new life change is, it doesn't necessarily have to be a baby. I think women love to give men the comfort conversation of, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want. When it comes to a man wanting to take a trip or not wanting to go to an event with her or whatever, you give him the space to make a decision he think is his. But once he makes a decision that he thinks is his, that you gave him the allowance to have, you then have an attitude because it's not the decision you wanted him to make.
Exactly.
And that's very contradicting. And then I feel like when it comes to a new baby for both of you, girl, why would you automatically count yourself out of having a partner?
Exactly. Like, I was just when she was saying some of the stuff that she was saying, I'm just like, fam, you gave him that option. I'm a man.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
When you visit Arizona, time is measured in moments, not minutes. Like the moment you see the Grand Canyon for the first time. Visit a new state of mind. Learn more at hereyouareaz.com.
And as a woman, I'd have never given him that option. I said, hey, I'm keeping this baby. And I need you here.
Yeah.
And I think if you would have gave Lawrence about like a week or two, he'd have been like, all right, you right. And I don't think he would never took that job. And he would have been there. And maybe their situation would have been different. Because she probably been talking shit about him to the parents and her sister. So they were looking crazy when he showed up. And it's just like,
and I think what she did with her mom and her sister was, I told him that he can be as much as a part of this, however he would like, and he made a decision not to be. And I feel like that's not fair, because it's not that he had made a decision not to be because it was a bad situation, because it wasn't bad blood. He made a decision to back the hell up because you never made him feel like he was wanted or needed.
That's exactly. If you would have made him wanted and needed, he would have never backed up. Because you could tell in the episode that Lawrence really, like, once the baby was here, it was like, all right, Lawrence, he tried his best and under the circumstances to go into dad mode. And because you gave him that opportunity to really be in and out, he still gets to live his life and then come in and play dad when he wants to, as opposed to you being like, yeah, nah, like this, what I thought we were gonna do isn't gonna work. And I don't know if that's because I don't have any kids, so I'm just the podcast is just mainly just going from a different perspective from a single person to a person with kids. And I was like, I've never really seen that with women. I seen to where they told him he had to be there, then he decided not to be there, but to give him the expectation that he don't really have to show up. I was like, why would you do that? I would never do that.
I mean, okay, so women do this. I would say that I kind of did this with Anya's dad because I knew he was younger. I knew he was younger than me. I knew he was still in school. I knew he was not as set as I was, and I knew responsibility wise I was better. And so I felt like it would be selfish of me to be like, I need you to step up. I need you to do this. The job that you're working now is not good enough. I need you to be here at this time. Something that he's not used to, but at the same time, because the goal with him was never a relationship, it was like, in my mind, I already canceled you out as an option of being my support system.
Got you.
I didn't ask him to be my support system. I just, for my safety and for my my sure support, I cancel him out because it's easier. And it sounds like damn, but the reality is he's the type of person where if you say you got to be here Tuesday at 9 a.m. At 8:50 is when he's going to be looking for a ride.
Oh that's nah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's disrespectful.
But that's who he was, and I knew that. So when I had showed him the PP stick, I said, "Hey, look," and he was like, "Seriously?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Don't tell anybody, because for women, when you find out that you're pregnant, you can't really tell the world until you are over the 13 weeks, because a lot of women, a lot of women lose those babies, and then you just look stupid, and everybody knows your business." So I was just like, "Don't say nothing to nobody." Man, it took that man 3 days. 3 days he could not hold water, and his brothers knew, his sisters knew, his aunts knew. I'm just like, dog.
All right, so
why?
to his defense, right? Okay, so when I had the ectopic pregnancy, she had told me not to tell anybody, but I was just so, like, when we first found out she was pregnant, I was just so excited. I was like, hey, I ain't supposed to tell you, but I told my people who I knew I could trust that would not say a peep.
Yeah.
And then obviously I told him what happened. But even she gave me, so like, even though like when I had got her pregnant, we had a like clear understanding. But she also was trying to be a lawyer, so she had told me straight up. She was like, "Look, you can be in this kid's life, you cannot be in this kid's life. If you be in this kid's life, I'm gonna expect you to be here. If you don't want anything to do with the baby, just let me know now. And then when the birth certificate come, I will have you hand sign over all your rights." And I was like, God damn! I was like, shit.
It's just, and you know what? But the thing is, like, it's easier to do that talk before you start seeing pictures and faces, because your emotion starts to take over your common sense, and then it's harder for somebody to emotionally disengage from a baby when the baby is physically actually like out here, because they just feel emotions, but in all actuality their life is not set up to be the responsible parent for a baby. So that's why most women get very cutthroat at the beginning, because it's kind of like, I don't want to pour all my eggs in this basket that's supposed to support my eggs so I can make it back home and have a harvest that I can depend on, if there's a big ass hole in the bottom, and I want to know if there's a hole in the bottom of who I think is going to be able to support me. So what I told him after he saw the pregnancy test, I said, you can either be in 100% or you can be out 100%, but I'm not going to be hurt if you're out 100%, because now I know what I need to do. But what I will not allow is you half-ass it.
Yeah,
and he was like,
I can agree with that.
He was like, no, he was like, I'm in. But at the same time, when, the first appointment came, and he heard the heartbeat, this man was crying in the doctor's office, listening to the heartbeat. And I'm just looking at him like, dog. My cousin looking at him like, are you serious? So then he was like it was just too much, and he was giving me such a hard time before that doctor's appointment and being difficult. Like, I want to say 30 minutes before the doctor's appointment, this man was throwing a whole tantrum in the waiting room, talking about, I don't understand why I got to be at the appointment. Why wouldn't you? And so for me to see him like crying because he hears the baby's heartbeat, I'm just like, dog, who is about to bring out your Oscar?
Like, I never understood that. So I remember when I was with my ex, and we were doing a long distance thing. Like, I had told her, I was like, hey, look, like, if you pregnant, like, this long distance shit ain't gonna work. Like, I'm moving up there, because I'm not about to be coming back. Like, I'm not about to be flying every couple weeks, every month or whatever to go to an appointment. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you gonna need me there, and I'm gonna be there. Like, I want to be there during that whole process. I would never ask, like, why I gotta be there at the baby's office. The doctor, why would you say that? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's just crazy. And I think after he heard that, he was like really like attached. But it was a situation where, like, my apartment in New York had flooded because of the old man upstairs, so I had to put all my stuff in storage. I wasn't working at the time, and then Zara had called me for a manager's position on Broadway in Soho the day before my flight was going to Florida to stay with my mom. And I was like, I can't take this job. I'm moving. And so he was mad at me that I moved from New York to go be with a woman that had 5 kids and knows everything about babies. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is like, I didn't feel like he had the mindset to take on what's going to happen during this pregnancy, because he was thinking, why would you move all the way down to Florida from New York when I can't see you and I can't come to the appointments? Sir, that's the least of my fucking worries. My worries is, why would I stay in New York not have a place, not have a job, struggle these whole 9 months, and then try to prepare for a new baby and not have a space for the new baby. My goal was to leave New York, go to my mom, save some money, go to my doctor's appointments while I'm down there, be around her, have the baby, be comfortable, not be stressed. And then after I had the baby, a week later, I moved back to Georgia and I got 2 jobs. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like, he wasn't seeing long term what my goal was. He was seeing the fact that, oh, so now I went to one appointment and now you're gonna move and you're not gonna be here, and you just took me out of the loop. Sir.
I mean, not even, because he could have still been there.
My thing is like you going to school, you're working, you have no place for me to be up here. Why would I sit here and struggle? Mm-hmm. Why would I sit here and struggle and have a baby? You know what I'm saying? New York is not a comfortable place to be by yourself, let alone pregnant. So I was like, no, I said, this is not an option. It's not that I don't want to be around you during this pregnancy. It's just like, it doesn't make any mature, responsible sense. And a lot of times, because men aren't physically going through the changes and men aren't the ones who have to have their pussy popped open every month for a few weeks in each month until that baby comes out and just be violated, because that's what it is. They don't get it. They don't get why you can't just stay here, why you can't just do this, or why you can't just... Man, if I ain't go to my mom's when I had my first kid, I would have been so miserable.
Yeah, because we don't necessarily really like, it don't really hit us until like to the baby actually coming, and we like, oh shit, like I'm a dad, like that's
yeah,
like even when I got her pregnant, like I kind of understood the magnitude of, I was like, oh shit, like I got like X amount of months to get my life together because I'm about to be a dad. And once that happens, it's like my whole life changed. So when we found out, when we ended up going to, she ended up having like a doctor's appointment, we ended up going, and then that's how we found out it was an ectopic pregnancy. And we had wanted to try again, and I was just like, well, I just took it as you trying to finish school, I got some stuff going on. Maybe that was just a sign that, hey, like maybe this can happen down the line, but we just need to focus on whatever we need to focus on. I was crushed, though. I was hurt because I really was. It took me like a day to really process what was going on, but after that, like I was like, all right, we about to do this, and I was like, damn, we not about to do this no more. I was like, shit. She looked at her because she wanted to keep it, and I was like, ma'am, we can't. You can't do that. I was like, that's not physically possible. She was like, no. I was like, ma'am.
And I'm not saying that those pregnancies aren't possible. They some of them are successful, but it's rare, and it's just not worth it to chance your body.
Exactly.
To be possibly on bed rest for like 8 months because of your high risk pregnancy. Because let me tell you, 2 months of maternity leave is like Groundhog Day every fucking day. I couldn't wait to go back to work.
Really?
Yes, because what happens in maternity leave is primarily the mom is the one at home with this new baby, crying, not eating, sleeping, shitting, needing the same routine at the same time every day. And it's kind of like you're on this slave master train, and you can't get off, and you can't get any sleep because this baby gets up like every 2 hours. Or you know, they need something, and then you're still uncomfortable. You just got to the point where you can actually see your pussy. Okay, hello, I haven't seen you in months. I can actually take a shower by myself now. And then like the sleep that you need when your body is drained, a lot of people think like, okay, you have the baby and then you just feed the baby. No, after you have a baby, especially if you're breastfeeding, you have to still eat like you're pregnant. And if you don't eat the same amount of food as if you are pregnant, your body won't produce the milk. So you'll basically starve out your baby because your body is not getting the nutrients enough to make the milk for the baby. And then not every mom can breastfeed. And then if you think about that, a can of baby milk is $30 and that lasts for 2 days.
It's expensive, yo.
It's hella expensive.
It's expensive as shit.
So when it comes to this title, setting the expectation, is kind of like, if you're dating and you're just fooling around and y'all have nothing really set in stone and y'all haven't talked about any like future goals and y'all haven't talked about like a time frame of when each of you would like kids, or is it like, are you one of those people who are strict on, I want to get married, I want to enjoy my wife or my husband for 2 years and then I want to have kids? Some people are like that. Some people aren't. Some people don't have plans of being married, but they want a household where there's both parents in the household and he raises this kid. That's also a conversation because not everybody can do that. And if it's where, no, we don't have to be married, we don't have to be in a relationship, I just want you to do your part for the kid and I'll do my part. Sometimes that can work, but it takes two very mature people in order to make that happen. So with this whole situation on Insecure, basically 2 adults consented to sex. They both saw it through. The woman becomes pregnant. She makes the man feel like, he's not a part of the plan. 9 months go by. The woman has the baby and had full communication access to the dad the whole pregnancy, but never reached out. Then she has the audacity to call the dad after she gives birth while she's in the hospital and tells the dad, I have a baby. The baby's here. Which is crazy to me, because why would you do that? And
that's wild.
And then I think that's very unfair. And my thing is like, not all men are assholes. Not all men lack care and compassion. And that's the basis of the title, setting the expectation. Like, before we have sex, if a baby happens, what is the plan? What would you do? Like, if those discussions can't happen and you out here having buck wild sex and don't know where you put it in at last night, but it was good, y'all need to pause.
Definitely need to pause. Big facts. I agree with you on that. How he found out there were text messages, I felt like that was whack. Like, I'm like, damn, you couldn't even tell my man like a week before, like, hey, like, I'm probably going into labor this week. I'd be hot. Highly.
and then you know what's so crazy? Lawrence walked into that hospital room in good spirits.
He really did.
I said, do you not? Let me tell you this. My second kid, there was it drama? I don't feel like it was drama, but I feel like it was friction to where I feel like he felt like he had no control of the situation because we weren't in a relationship. And then he had to deal with his girlfriend being pissed off that he's having a child outside of their relationship. And he was dealing with being in the shit house with that, and also trying to figure out what our relationship is going to be now that I'm actually going to be his kid's mom. And I'm not just like a good friend, and I'm not just like, his other relationship that he's had over the last decade. I'm now going to be his kid's mom also. So in his mind, he's kind of like, damn, how do I control this situation? And we're not together, and she has her own house and she has her own things, and she's the type of person, like, if she doesn't want to do what the fuck you say, she's not going to do it. And I think he was struggling with that, right? When I tell you, this man was supportive but absent emotionally. So I don't know if that's worse than being absent, But it was like he had like a brick wall up the whole time I was pregnant. But if I needed something, he will bring it. If I needed him to come to an appointment, we would go to the appointment. We would go out to eat after the appointment. Most of the time he would have an attitude, but didn't want to talk about it. But I just made it a point to not let him feel excluded. Mm-hmm. He would get mad at the fact that he had to be at the appointment, and he would get mad at the appointments that I didn't tell him I was having. And I was so confused. I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm just like, I said, the only reason why I didn't have you come to that appointment because it was very routine. It wasn't an ultrasound. You were going to be bored. And then the appointments that he did come to, he was like, man, why did I have to be here? And I'm just like, oh my God. And it was just so frustrating. And so fast forward, when I went to the walkthrough for the hospital, because they let you do a walkthrough so you know what's going to happen when you come for delivery and all of that. Man, he had an attitude. On the day of me being induced, he had an attitude because I didn't send him an invitation for the baby shower.
Wow.
Mind you, the baby shower was a month before my labor. I said, why would I send the father of my kid an invitation for his own baby?
A baby shower. What's wrong with people?
Like, that's a dumb reason to be upset. And that was like the stupidest stuff I was dealing with him. And then he was like, he was upset because 2 days before my baby shower, my cousin had came from Philly, and she knows my old ex from high school. And she had let him know that she was in Atlanta. And while I was at work, he showed up at my house. And they were like hanging out. My mom was there too. He didn't tell me he was coming. So what happened was my kid's father was bringing me my ice and my chocolate to drop off at the house, because that was like my addiction. And he got off of work and he went and got my ice and my chocolate, and he was bringing it to the house to put it in the fridge. He got pissed off at me because when he rang my bell, my ex opened the door and told him hello and shook his hand.
Men be weird.
Man, so he got out. So he put the stuff in there. He said hello to my mom and left. And he went outside in his truck, and that man blew up my phone. And he was like, what the fuck you got going on at your house? I'm just like, what are you talking about? He was like, why I come to your house to drop off your stuff and your ex opening your door. So you just have niggas opening your door. I was like, what are you talking about? So I had him on my mind, and I'm texting my cousin. I'm just like, dog, what happened? She was like, girl. She was like, he just popped up and, opened the door. He wasn't disrespectful. They spoke to each other. I said, man, he is pissed off right now. And so the whole time I'm in labor, this man giving me side eye like,
nah, he's doing the most.
Listen, still mad at that. He giving me side eye the day of my delivery. And basically, he in the room, he watching what the doctor's doing. He watching my pussy. He watching everything. He walking back and forth, but he's nowhere near me. He's not holding my hand. My mom is there. My oldest daughter is there, and he's just really being distant, but he's in the room. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this man's problem? So I have our kid, and the doctor's like, all right, you could cut the umbilical cord. The man cuts it. He goes back to go sit down. He looking at the baby. The first person to hold Ari was my youngest daughter. I mean, my oldest daughter. And then my mom held her, and then he held her. And I held her last because I was pissed. I was pissed that he gave me a hard time. I was pissed that he had an attitude the whole time. I was pissed that she wasn't even fat enough to be giving me 17 hours of annoying ass labor. I was just so irritated. It was kind of like, I wanted to be like, if you was gonna be an asshole the whole time in here and fucking up my vibe, why the fuck did you come?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man, that's stressful.
Boy, I was like, oh my God. I was like, why do you like this? But that was just like how he was being. He didn't apologize for that shit until like a year and a half later.
Damn. He waited a year and a half.
Listen, so some men are real assholes, but I think it's very rude for women to completely discredit men off tops at the beginning before anything happens and be like, so you in or you out?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why all the energy? Where is this coming from? Like, it's okay for women to be like, hey, I'm scared, I'm terrified, I don't want to do this by myself. I need help, but I don't want you to feel obligated to help me. Like, that sounds better than being like, hey, I'm pregnant, you don't have to be a part of this if you don't want to, you don't have to be here. It sounds like you got it. And I feel like that's the energy that homegirl gave Lawrence.
Yeah, big time. And
so it was crazy.
I'm just like so when I went back and listened to the episodes, I'm like, okay, you ain't want a baby when you was married. Now you want one, but you tell him he don't gotta be there. And then when he tries to be there, you get mad. He tries to be there at the doctor's appointments, and you talking about, well, he was like, this is how it's going to be. And you was like, yeah, like I've been doing. I'm like, sis, you never gave him the opportunity. You can't sit there and now want to play victim.
Yeah.
Because you gave him that, you gave him that mindset to act the way he was acting. And I'm just like, bro, I don't know. Like, I always, whenever I'm talking to a chick, I always set the expectation. I'm like, hey, look, if you get pregnant, like, I'm going to be here. Like, I ain't going anywhere because that's going to be my first kid. So I'm like, and I was raised in a 2-parent household. So I don't know, like, I wasn't raised in a single parent household. So I was raised, you know, you make a kid, you take care of your responsibility. So I was like, hey, I had like, I think like 2 or 3 pregnancy scares. And the other 2 was one I wanted. The other one I really didn't want. But I told her, I was like, I mean, I wanted the baby. I didn't want her, but I was hoping that she wasn't pregnant. Thank God she wasn't. And I learned my lesson after that. And I told her, I was like, hey, look, I told her straight up, if you pregnant, it's a lot of shit that got to change because this ain't gonna fly with me no more. Yeah. I set that expectation real quick. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. And if you can't do that, then I'm gonna find a way to take more custody because you're not about to stress me. I will rather be.
He said you're not about to stress me. You know that woman had to be awful for you to just take that off top.
Yes, yo. I was just like, it wasn't that she was awful. It's just like, so she was Haitian, and she was always of the mindset, oh, the man provides, and I just sit back and do whatever. But I'm just like, number one, no, I wasn't raised like that. So either you're going to help, or I'm just going to be a single parent and not just be a single parent financially. Like we're not doing this.
Yeah.
And then it came to the point to where like I started like noticing her eating habits to where she would only eat when she got high. So I legit sat her down and was like, if you're pregnant, how the fuck are you gonna eat if all you eat is when you high? Like this ain't gonna work. Cause number one, you're not gonna starve my baby. Number two, you gotta make sure the baby's healthy. Then I was like, number three, you're toxic. And I was like, I'm gonna try my best to make sure I'm there for you and that you're not stressed because my baby can't come out toxic. That's just not gonna happen. That's just not gonna happen. And then like she had said something. She was like, she tried to undercut me and was like, well, if I am pregnant, who knows if it's yours? I'm like, first of all, don't try me like that. What? Second of all, I was like, see, this is the shit that I'm talking about right
this
here.
This is a lot of smoke.
A lot of smoke. And I'm just like,
but you know what's so crazy? I think that's what he was thinking because my ex was at the house at one time. Like, what if this kid is not mine? I'm just like, sir, you lived in my vagina for decades. Shut your ass up. Like, I will never ever pin a baby on a man. And then I feel like when she came out, it was like, damn, I've been an asshole for no reason.
Pretty much.
Like,
I've never been in a situation to where, like, I've heard of men to where they think they just messing with the chick. They're exclusive on their end, but the chick ain't exclusive on her end. Because I just can't imagine. I can imagine how stressful that is. Like, you thinking like you don't know if the baby's yours. You're preparing like it's yours, but what if it's not?
Yeah.
I would be pissed. Hella pissed.
You saw that clip that I posted where this lady swore up and down that this man was the father of her son, and this man had to serve 5 years in prison for not paying child support. And
Yes.
after he got out, they went to court to figure out if that was actually his son, and it wasn't.
So in situations like that happens, right? Now is it automatic? Does he get all his money back? Because, like, number one, I'm suing you. Number two, I done wasted 5 years of my life in jail.
I feel like unless the judge says you need to pay back this man in that court hearing, he would have to make another suit to get his money back that he paid. And I want to sue her for wrongfully accusing me of being this boy's dad and the time that I lost.
Like, how is it to where, like, so that's one thing I don't be understanding about the whole court system. So you can easily take my money if you think that child is mine. Then when the child ain't mine, I gotta get a judge to be like, oh, you gotta pay him his money back. Nah, I need all my money back.
It depends.
Now.
It depends, because some states are still on, if the father signed the birth certificate, he must pay child support. We don't need a paternity test. And some states are like, even if he signed the birth certificate, in order to push through child support, we need a paternity test.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what state it is, and that's why it's very important for men to understand where they get married at, in what state, and where the baby is born in what state, because a lot of that can go against you legally when you want to do things with your baby. We have 2 messages. I'm gonna play them.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't care about your apartment in New York, bitch.
See, we have we have people like this that come through. So if you go to like messages, you can block a person and you can hide their messages, and that'll disappear. So like that's how you get rid of people like that. But they come in every once in a while. But yeah, that shit is crazy. To me, it's kind of like you have to ask, if a baby happens, what's the plan? Because I was on Reddit today, and I was reading like all of the random people's questions. One was on Reddit talking about sneaky link. My sneaky link got me pregnant, and somebody put on there, sneaky link needs to pay half for the removal, as if it's like a tooth. And if you're going to keep the baby, they need to pay half of the prenatal appointments, and they need to pay child support. I'm just like, dog, people are out here really being reckless. Like,
also, no matter if I am with the woman or not, like, I always tell them up front, like, hey, this is nothing against you, but, like, I want a DNA test just so I know for sure. I don't want to put my name on something and then find out that it's really not mine, and now I'm looking stupid, and now I got to go through hell and high water to get it to remove myself from the situation legally. And I just feel like, I don't know, maybe not so much in older generation, but in this newer generation, like when a man asks for a DNA test, like they get really offended. They be like,
okay, there's 2 things that I never get offended about. I never get offended about a man asking for a DNA test when a new baby is born, because I feel like he should know. If that's a better bet of him knowing, then that's cool. But the thing is, when you have a new baby, you stay in the hospital for 3 days after. just so they can check, like, especially if you've been induced, like, what's your side effects of the drugs that they gave you to make sure you're okay. But in those 3 days, you have to, some people don't, and they have to wait a lot longer, and that holds up a lot of the baby's appointments and stuff. Some people don't pick a name for like a few months for the baby. Some people don't file for their birth certificate. Some people don't file for their social security card in the hospital, and that extends a lot of paperwork and proof that you might need for like your insurance, them covering your hospital bills, and it turns into like a shit show. So most of the time people want to get that shit done when they're there. And if they came up with a faster way of getting the results of a DNA test for dads in hospitals, I feel like it should be like an automatic thing.
Yeah, as soon as the baby come out, swab it, find out.
My what? And also, I've never been offended of someone asking me my age. I feel like when women be offended because somebody's asking them their age, is because they're not pulling their weight of taking care of themselves. Because let's say if I was like 48 right now, and somebody asked me my age, and I tell them I'm 48, they could be like, "Damn, you look good for 48," and I'm gonna be like, "Thank you." Why would I be offended for someone to ask me my age and I look good for my age?
Exactly. I never understood that. They be like, you don't ask a woman how old they are. I'll be asking all the time, how old are you? Oh, okay. Because there be some women out here that look older than you would think, like, okay, because they develop faster. Like, you would think they're like 25, 26, 27, and they 20. And I'm like, oh no, listen, that's not gonna work.
Rittenhouse's mom looked like she 48.
She do.
What, Ari?
She look like she's 48 and she not.
I'm not turning off the heat. Go in the room. Bye. Leave the iPad. I need to charge it. Leave it alone. You want the belt? Bye.
I was listening to your talk with Juice yesterday, and you were negotiating with her about chocolate, I think it was, or something like that.
What'd you say?
I said I was listening to your talk with Juice yesterday, and I think he was negotiating with her about chocolate or something like that. Yeah. And you was like, "Yo, let's touch on that."
No. Okay, so that was Anya, and there was like 2 donuts left, and she was like, "Can I get the last donut?" And I'm just like, no, like she been dogging these donuts. I'm just like, I want the last original one. I said I'll split it with you, and she was like, okay. But they have a habit of asking me stuff when they know I'm recording, because they know I'm gonna just be like, get. And so she came in here talking about, I want you to turn the heat off. The younger one, she's scared of the heater. And I was like, no, I'm not about to be cold for you. We already had this discussion. She come in here and she trying to yank the iPad. I said, it's not charged yet. Go away. She always trying to swindle.
Kids definitely be trying to swindle, especially like, that's why like if I don't know what type of parent I'm gonna be, like because I always think in my head I'm gonna be the disciplinarian, and then when I have the kid I could become the complete opposite. But I feel like you gotta have a defined, not I'm saying a defined role, but you kind of like within those first couple of months kind of know exactly what you're going to do, because as they get older, if you don't have I feel like you don't have a clear definition of what type of parent you're going to be, these kids will manipulate you quick. They will play off your emotions quick.
I'm a Jekyll and Hyde parent.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have fun with you. We gonna laugh. We gonna giggle, and I'm gonna tell you to do something 2 times, and then the 3rd time is gonna be the example of what happens when you didn't do what I told you to do. And the thing about that is, nobody ever knows when I'm done. Nobody ever knows when I'm at my limits. The key is, don't let me tell you more than once, because I'm gonna get fed up. And then if something else is irritating me, and then you're also doing something you're not supposed to do, now you're going to get in trouble 10 times worse than if you were doing it and I wasn't irritated. So that's how I am. My mom never believed in discipline, so it was like I grew up in a house where I warred with my brothers.
Interesting.
So like my mom will be watching General Hospital and knitting, and I will be throwing like a 20-pound weight across the room to my brother's face, and she would not flinch. And I knew like this is not normal. This can't be healthy. I'm not going to raise my kids like this. And so I don't let them fight each other. I don't let things in the house get broken. But I do half and half. I will have fun with you, but I will also whoop you.
Okay, yeah, because I grew up, my parents whooped my ass. I wasn't a bad kid in the household. I was bad in regards to authority. Like I did not respect authority growing up. Like my dad used to it got to the point to where my dad would be like, hey, if he gets in trouble, here's my card. And these teachers, I would call these teachers pussies because you would always call my dad. I was like, y'all some pussies for calling my pops instead of just trying to handle this themselves. So it got so bad, man. My mom kicked me out when I was 12. I was coming home from school. I don't know what the hell happened. All of the mom was like, get out now. Ain't even let me get the book back. I bought it. Get out. I was like, yo. Now, mind you, my dad was out of town. So I'm literally just outside chilling for like a couple of days, going to a friend's house, chilling, and then going to the park until my dad got home. So my dad got home and he's like, where's my son? Because I'm the oldest. And my mom was like, I kicked him out. And my dad was like, I know you didn't kick that boy out. We are legally responsible for this man until he turns 18. Where is my son? And she was like, Wayne, I don't know. I kicked him out. So they finally find me. How I get kicked out and come back home and still get grounded for the whole summer? I thought that was punishment enough. I was like, shit. I'd rather be homeless. I was like, I'd rather be homeless. At least I was free to do what I wanted. Yeah, it was like, I just kept getting in trouble. And so, like, the middle one is nothing like me. The youngest one, as much as he couldn't stand me growing up, he's exactly like me. But he never got in trouble at school. He got in trouble at the house. And my mom was like, see, if you would have been a better example, he wouldn't have turned out that way. And I'm just like, I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm a kid. I'm still trying to figure this shit out. But
yeah, I never got in trouble at school. As far as like the house, I was the same way I am now. Like, I'm gonna tell you to stop bothering me 2 times, and I'm gonna have to hurt you. And then once I start hurting you, nobody can hold me back until I feel like what I needed to do was done. It was like I was like a ticking time bomb. That's when my mom would come and just leave her alone. But you know, they learn. Okay, so another question that I would do if it was just like a sex situation. I think more people need to like let their standpoint on the baby situation to be known. And we're not talking about the baby. We're talking about like if a baby did happen or if someone did get pregnant, like where do I stand on that and not having anything commitment wise? Because I feel like if you know a person's mindset before an actual emergency or situation happens, I feel like the emergency goes a lot smoother than not knowing where people's thoughts are in the situation, and like every second of every day is like pressure.
I agree. I also agree that, so I am a firm believer in, if you have a kid, you need to take care of your kid. But I'm also, as I get older, I also am of the mindset, if this man tells you from jump, I want nothing to do with this baby, but you try to force him to be a father, that's not going to work, because he told you up front, hey, listen, I want nothing to do with this. I'll sign the rights over, I'll do whatever I need to do, but I don't want nothing to do with this. But then you try to make him be something that he's not, and then be like, oh, he's a deadbeat, which he is. He should be taking care of his kid, but he told you off rip.
Yeah.
I don't want this.
Yeah,
And then that.
I don't feel bad for moms who know a man's standpoint on babies, end up pregnant by that man. The whole pregnancy, he's not supportive. And then the baby comes and they're hoping like, maybe they had a change of heart. Or maybe them seeing the baby is going to change them. And it's not. And I respect a man more to be like, where's the paper where I can sign up for my rights?
Yeah, I mean, because like at least he's giving you a heads up. No, what? If by the time you find out you're pregnant, you're about like what, a month and a half, maybe. So a good 7 months, you got to you get to figure out what's going to happen. As opposed to you trying to force them, because you can't really force nobody to do something that they don't really want to do. And because it's like if he wanted the kid and the woman didn't want the kid, so she was like, okay, I'm getting an abortion, but he don't want the kid, and you want the kid, and you basically is like, well, I'm going to keep it. It's your body, your choice, and I understand that, and I respect it 100%. But now you going around wringing his name through the mud. He don't want to do this, he don't want to do that, when he told you from jump, I don't want it. Because when we want it and the women don't want it, she just get an abortion, we just got to take it. It is what it is. I mean, we can't really be like, oh, you're going to keep the baby, because that's not really our choice to make.
You know what's so crazy? Like, I can laugh at this because I will never be in this predicament ever in life. But Neo, I think, was married. And he told his wife that he didn't want any more kids.
I remember this situation. He was wild.
And she got fixed. And they ended up like separating. And he have a new woman and they have a new baby. And my thing is like, this is why it's so important when you make body changes to do it because you want to do it, regardless of you being married, regardless of, you know, this being your boyfriend and you having X, Y, and Z kids already. I feel like men should have no say on women's birth control. I feel like men and women should always have a say on their type of control when it comes to their bodies.
I agree.
So like I was talking with Juice yesterday, like if a man knows deep down in his soul he never wants to see himself duplicated in any form ever in life, except wet and white, then, you know, go ahead and do the vasectomy. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is like, you just want to say, you know, I don't want to have kids when it's convenient, but you want a woman to alter her body every month with pills, or you want a woman to do something permanent to her body in order to not have any kids. Like me not wanting any kids and having the surgery to make sure I don't have any, that was my choice. I didn't have a conversation with the man who I kind of like to be like, do you want me to get it? Do you think I should get it? Like, that's the type of regret that you have to live with for the rest of your life if you make a decision on something. Same thing like these women that go out here and get these BBLs. If you getting a BBL for you, sis, do it for you, sis. But if you getting a BBL so you could get more likes on Instagram and have more men that really don't like you for real, they just want a piece of your body, to me, that's a dumb reason to do all of that work. It just doesn't make any sense.
I agree with you. Like, I've always been in the mindset, I was like, as I get older, I want twins, because after that, I want to get snipped. I don't want no more after that. Because when I was younger,
a man told me that. A man told me, we had a conversation before we dealt with each other like that. I was like, I got 2 kids. He was like, oh, okay, I don't have any kids, but I do want twins. The first time I have kids with the woman, it's going to be twins. I'm just like, sir, how? He was like, and even if I don't know that, I'm going to pay for it to be twins. Like, that's how stuck on it he was. Like, basically, he was like, I'm going to ejaculate my shit into a tube and then inseminate my wife or the woman that I want to carry my twins.
Wait. How can you pay for it to be twins? I'm confused. Is that
That's
a real thing?
So yes, so you can basically, men can go to a sperm place, ejaculate, have their kids sit. The woman that they want to carry them babies, the more sperm that they squeeze into the ovaries, you have a better chance of 2 eggs coming than just one, because somebody is actually putting a needle into the ovaries of multiple eggs, not just one. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, like, that's very excessive to be like, I know for sure my first set of kids is going to be twins and that's what I want. So when he told me that, I was like, oh, sir, you have secured your only dick seat, because it would be straight condoms, and I know I don't want kids with you, so we will never be anything else but just like fuck.
I didn't even know that. That's wild. Like, I would like to have twins. But if I don't, then, you know, because as I get older, I'd be seeing how pregnancy changes women. So I just be like, if we just get twins, just get over it, then we done. That's opposed to going to 2 of them, because I'm getting older, and I kind of like women that are a little bit older than me. So if I'm like 32, around like 34, hitting 35, and I know once you hit 35, you high risk. So I'm like, let's just get twins and get it out the way, as opposed to going through 2 of them. And I'm just like, yeah, that's a lot. Like, when I was younger.
Another thing with that is, even if women wait to have, you know, that done, the IVF, first of all, that shit can run between 15 to 30 grand.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
The reality is, a lot of people is not willing to pay for that. Even the people who are willing to pay for that to have the kid, the odds are that shit being successful is very, very high that it might not be successful even after you pay that shit. So there are a lot of people out here paying buku money to have their children, which is crazy. But at the same time, it's kind of like, at that age, even when they get higher, your child has a higher risk of having Down syndrome or some type of other medical issue, because if it's not your eggs from your younger years, I mean, it's very sketchy to be, you know, banking on you having a healthy baby the older you get up in age for a woman. It's hard. It happens sometimes, but it's hard. And it's a tricky thing. I don't believe in women who you want to find a man because your clock is ticking. Like, I feel like that's selfish. But at the same time, I don't believe in a man who knows a woman wants babies and she wants to be married, and you want to drag her into this boyfriend-girlfriend relationship for 15 plus years, but you really have no commitment. And some men that do that even know that they don't want to be married and they don't want kids, and they don't say shit to that woman that's there waiting for him to be like, I'm ready. So it's a very tricky thing, and that's why it's very important for people to have boundaries before they lose their time.
Well, you definitely gotta have boundaries. When I used to date women with kids, they tell me, a lot of these women would tell me straight up, I don't want no more kids. And I knew right then and there, all right, then we can't fuck, because I kind of want kids, and you don't want no more kids, and that's cool. I get it.
That's why I willingly say that shit up front now. Like, before I had the procedure done, I'm just like, you know, what are some things you would like, we were in like a group Zoom with other podcasters, and the question was, what are some things you would discuss with someone you're dating now? And I said I would discuss the fact that I don't plan on getting married until I clear my school debt.
Okay, that's smart.
They was like, why would you say that up front? Like, that's none of their business. But I feel like that's a real conversation if I want this to go anywhere. Yeah,
because school debt's a real fucking thing, and a lot of people got a lot of it.
Man, I just feel like it's a very selfish thing to be like, hey, I want you to marry me, and then when you marry me, my school debt that I made on my own becomes yours.
Did you ever watch Love is Blind?
No.
So there was this couple on Netflix. I forget their name. But essentially he had like a really good job. And she didn't tell him to after they pretty much got engaged that she had like a shit ton of school debt. So he like sold his he had like a tiny house or like a 1-bedroom house or something like that. He sold his house to basically help pay off her school debt, and now they live with a friend. Ain't no love like that in the world. Ain't no love like that in the world gonna get me, cause I'm debt free now. I'm paying off your no. And then we gotta no. And then she was like in the conversation. She was like in the episode because she was saying that how like she's been getting stressed because she wants a family. And he's like, well, we can't really afford a family right now because we don't even have our own place. And he was like, might have to pay off your student debt.
Don't forget to get your merch for this fall, winter on the Cozy Womb shop. And you can also shop Mama's Cozy Closet, which is where you get all the mom gear for moms. All right? Don't forget, it's out there. I'm talking sweatshirts, hoodies, mugs, cups, t-shirts, even onesies for the babies at Cozy Womb Shop and Mama's Cozy Closet. Now back to the show.
Could have a family because we would have our own place. But I sold my house to pay off your student debt, and now we don't have a place. How we gonna have a baby if we staying with your parents? I was like,
I have a huge problem with people who easily can look over the illusion of their wants when they're not in the situation to have wants. Mm-hmm. Like if you're living with somebody, your wants don't matter right now. If you have someone else taking care of your faults and your lack of having, you can't have wants right now. You can't afford to have wants right now. Right now, you can only afford priorities. And if the conversation is not how you can make double payments on this to get it down faster, then you need to be quiet, because it is very rude to be in somebody else's space, especially your parents or grandparents, and you're in their home still when they're supposed to be having the best years of their life, not having their grown kids with them anymore. Mm-hmm. And you're planning to have a baby or more babies.
Yeah, that's wild. Like, my parents have set the expectation very early on. They was like, Troy, you want to have a kid? That's cool, but you can't stay here. You got to go. Because you got to take care of your family. And I think that's part of the reason why I don't have any kids, because I'm at a position now to where I can take care of myself. I don't know if I'm in a position yet to where I can take care of a kid by myself with need be, with minimum support. So that's why I don't have any kids at this moment. But I agree with them. I was like, hey, I was telling my parents, I was like, look, I'm about to move out. Y'all are about to be in the mid-60s soon. I was like, y'all done raised all y'all kids. My youngest brother's 28. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. They don't raise a why would I bring another baby into the picture and then put this expectation on you like, oh, I need you to, help raise my kid after you done already raised your kid. Number one, I seen how you raised me and some things I don't want you doing. Like,
yeah.
No,
you know what I just noticed? I feel like married people get 2 honeymoons if they have kids. They get the beginning honeymoon where they get married if they don't have kids already, and they spend a year to 2 years maybe with just still dating them and going out and traveling and not having the worries of a baby and all of this other stuff, right? And then the baby comes, and then they raise the baby together. They see the baby graduate. They see the baby, become an adult. And now that adult doesn't need you physically there anymore. They can call, they can check in, they could come on holidays. But for the most part, y'all are living alone without your grown kids. And that is a honeymoon until one of their grown-ass kids has a baby, and then they have like their grandchildren visiting. But I feel like it's very rude for kids not to allow their parents who are still married, which is rare, the second honeymoon, because I feel like that's where a lot of parents get really frustrated with their grown-ass kids having babies back to back that they can't afford or they don't have help for.
So for us, right, because my parents have 3 boys. I'm the oldest. I'm 32. My middle brother turns 31 in January. The youngest one's 28. None of us have kids, but my mom never wanted kids, and then my dad, we ended up having 3, and they ended up basically having us back to back. Like me and my middle brother.
How did you swindle your mom 3 times?
I don't know.
Wow.
I've been trying to ask her the same thing. Like, my mom was like, I don't want any kids. And then my dad was like, okay. And the next thing you know, but they never really had that honeymoon because, like, they've been married for 33 years and I'm 32. So, like, they had me quick. And they turned right back around and had my middle brother quick. And then, like, another 16 months after that, they had my youngest brother quick. So I always keep that in mind to where, like, hey, like, I always told them, I was like, if I have a kid, number one, I probably won't even tell you till, like, it's almost damn near the baby shower. And then after that, like, I wouldn't put that responsibility on you, like, oh, can you watch my baby for me? Because y'all never really had a honeymoon. Y'all had, like, maybe less than a year maybe before you had me. So it was like, man, y'all got married and y'all just got pregnant quick. So now's y'all time to enjoy yourselves. Like, we got little cousins and they'll go play with them. So I know to be good grandparents, but they always be like, the best thing about playing with your little cousins is they ain't got to stay the night. They can just go back to their parents. And they was like, that's what I need y'all to do. Y'all have kids, we'll watch them, but they can't spend the night because we want to enjoy our time. And I get it, because I've seen a lot of like my friends back up north just have kids when they're young, and I'm like, damn, I would be pissed. I would be really pissed. That's why, like, I just be like, if I have a daughter, I'd be like, Lord, please don't let her have a baby early. Cause I'm be like, I just finished raising her. Now I gotta. I think that's probably why I don't want a daughter, because
you can't choose. And let me tell you,
I know,
men and women, because this happens on men and women's side. The more you be like, I don't want this sex of a baby first, or I don't want this sex of a baby, that's the baby you're gonna have.
Like, I want a son.
I wanted 13 sons.
Damn, 13, Shan. God, shit.
No. But then when I had my first kid and it was a girl, and I felt.
What's so special about Hero Bread's soft, fluffy, and delicious breads, buns, and tortillas? Hero Bread serves up 0 to 1 grams of net carbs, 5 to 11 grams of protein, and high fiber in every delicious serving. Made with natural ingredients, Hero Bread supports gut health, promotes weight management, and helps maintain blood sugar. Hero also drops other limited edition ultra-low net carb goodies like rich, flaky croissants and buttery brioche slider rolls. Head to hero.co to shop today.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
What labor felt like, I'm just like, dog, no. I don't know how I would ever do this to my body ever again. And my kids are almost 4 years apart. And I couldn't see myself doing it again. So what you think you want right now, you don't have kids, it don't matter.
Yeah, the reason why I just say that is just because I'm like, yo, like, if I have a boy, 9 times out of 10, if he has a kid, the kid's not going to be living with me. But if I have a daughter, 9 times out of 10, the kid is going to be living with me. And now I got to help raise a baby after I got finished raising kids. That's how my mindset is. And maybe that's just because I don't have any kids. Maybe it changes when I have kids. And I don't have any kids. I was like, me and my brothers grew up together. So it was like I had to help raise them. And then all my cousins that have kids, like I wasn't in the same state as them. So by the time I saw their kids, they're like 4 or 5 now. They're not little ones. The only time my oldest cousin on my dad's side, I was around his 2 kids when they were younger, when they were babies, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know. I don't think I'm ready for this. Like my cousin Gardner, he first came home, he looking at me, I'm looking at him. He started crying. He looking at me, I'm looking at him. I'm like, hey, cuzzo, I need you to get your baby because this baby crying, and I'm holding him. I don't know why he crying. He just crying. He won't stop. I'm like, yeah, nah. People say that.
It just sucks when you have a kid and you can't give him back to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always enjoyed kids and babies because I knew they could never stay. They had to go back to their parents. When you have kids and there's nobody to pick them back up, you mean they have to stay with me all the time? You mean every time I go to the grocery store, they have to come? You mean I can't leave them in the Tesla and turn on the animal and car air conditioning while I go get these groceries? Like, that's the most irritating part of being a parent, is needing quiet time, needing your time, and you always got them. Like,
yes.
The only mini vacations I get is the day where I have to go to the office. Ari's at her dad's house and Anya's like with my brother at his shop. And I drive to work in my vibe, and I leave the office in my vibe. Or if one of my friends want to come watch the girls for me while I go run errands, and that's the only time I get it. Or if my mom comes to my house and she stays, for a few weeks, and I get to leave the house and not take my kids with me. That shit feels amazing. And those are the only little joys I get. Like, I don't get time to myself. And then I be up late hours because I be wanting to enjoy my me time. And my me time can only be enjoyed between the hours of 11:30 p.m. and 3 a.m. So it's not that I don't want to go to sleep. It's like I do want to go to sleep, but I do want to enjoy it just being me for a little bit.
I understand. I used to date a chick with 3 kids.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and we would get, to this day I still don't know, because I understood that she had nobody to watch the kids. Mm-hmm. And I was financially helping her. Like, if she needed help, I had her. I made sure she was straight. I like 2 out of 3 kids. Her 2 oldest daughters, she had 3 girls. I like the youngest daughter. I ain't like, because her daughter was a baby. Her daughter was like maybe like 1, and I was driving her to get some pizza, and this little baby took her grubby paws and put her lips on my milkshake. Like, I don't know where your lips been. Now I don't want the milkshake. So I be telling her, I be looking at her, and I was looking at her, I was like, yeah, me and you, we're not talking right now. Cause people don't understand. Like, I have a big, like, milkshakes is to me what like weed is to some people. Like,
you don't have to explain it to me. I tell my kids all the time, I said, I may have had you, but I will never eat and drink after you.
Yes, and I was just like, yo, y'all kids be sick. Y'all be having these nasty ass germs, and you gonna put your stuff on my milkshake? And then had the audacity when I opened up a soda, her eyes didn't get big. No, finish the milkshake that you drank. Finish the milkshake that you stole from me. I was so hurt. Like I literally went back to Wawa and bought me another milkshake. I told her, I was like, I don't want your child can have that. That is hers, or you can drink after her. I was so
Till this day. Till
this day.
If one of my kids put their mouth on my food or my straw or my cup, that's yours.
Yeah, I was like, hey sis, you got that. You have fun with that. And so I would always get upset because I would be like, well, I'm helping you financially. If you need me to take you anywhere, I got you. But I'm like, we don't spend time together. And she was like, well, you know, I got 3 kids. And I'm like, I understand that. But then when I see, cause she blocked me on Facebook because I called her out, but I have 2 burner accounts Facebook, so I was able to still. Not like I was trying to see what was going on, but sometimes I didn't think she was telling the truth. So I would be like, well, when you do have a chance to be by yourself, I get it, you need your me time, but it's never like, hey, come over, let's hang out. And it was just like I got to the point to where it's like, do you really want to spend time with me, or you just want the help that I'm giving you? And that's why after that I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can date a woman with kids, because number one, the time, I don't require a lot of time, but when I want to see you, I want to see you, and I know that's not always the case with women that have kids.
Yeah, my guy friends think I'm crazy when I be like, my ideal man will already have kids, but don't want any more biologically, and be extremely busy, but when somebody like has their interest, they don't have no problem to be like, hey, next Wednesday I want to take you here, you know, make sure you got, you know, stuff set up for the girls so you can come, you know. And I don't have to worry about this man not having nothing to do and have the audacity to be calling me multiple times of the day to talk, or want to text all day, or want to come over and chill and watch movies, or overstay his welcome because, you know, he has so much time of leisure. I don't want a man with hella time to chill.
I feel you on that. Because I work a lot, so I don't have hella time, but the time I do have, I'd be willing to make. And I was just like, the thing that always used to be annoying me was like, she would be like, oh, I don't really have a lot of time. But when you wanted something, you made the time. So it was like, it wasn't like you ain't have the time, you just didn't want to make the time when you didn't have the time to make. And I never understood that. And I was just like, yeah, after that I was like, yeah, I don't think I could talk to another chick with kids. And then she didn't.
You definitely, when you have kids, you definitely can make the time, but it has to be super pre-planned. And I tell people this all the time: women who have kids will only pre-plan and make sure of things that mean a lot to them.
That makes sense now.
That like makes sense. When it comes to my DP, when the vagina needs to eat, I know I'm not scheduling nothing between this time and this time, and I will check you next week. Like, you know what I mean? You ain't never gotta worry about me canceling that unless I'm really like not in the mood, or I really just don't want to be around nobody, or maybe he got on my nerves, or maybe, you know, my cycle is on, sir. That's the only reason. But if I'm expecting and our schedules don't line up, oh my God, I am the gremlin of grims. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell you this: like, women who have kids, like, they still have needs, but it gets very direct.
Okay.
Know,
that makes sense.
There's no question mark plans that can be made. It's like, oh, this is happening at this time. Don't schedule shit. You ain't got shit going on this day, right? About what time? This time. And I'm gonna have these kids down. And if they not down, we gonna get some NyQuil up in this piece. and I'm gonna lock some doors, and I'm gonna play some loud music, and we gonna tune them out. Like, what are you talking about? This is about to happen.
So, okay, that makes perfect sense now. Now I can just think that she really didn't like me like that, because she would always schedule stuff. She would be like, "Hey, if we're gonna do this, it's got to be late." I'm like, "Cool," but it will be like at midnight, and I'm like, "I don't know why you try to schedule shit at midnight when you don't even be up." Because I remember one time she told me to come through. Why, when I get there, 'cause she lived in an apartment that had a gate, she fell asleep. You know how pissed I was.
That happened to me one time with a DP, and that was the last time he ever got any of my time. And I was like, even though when you have a DP and they don't have like the authority to be in your space, if I'm making time after I get rid of my children and before I get to work and you drop the ball, I will never. And still to this day, he has no idea why. I just basically don't talk to him, don't do nothing. When he has like parties and events, he'll send me in a group text, "Hey, I'm having a party, blocked." Like, we have nothing to talk about. You dropped the ball. The worst thing you could do to me in my 30s is waste my time.
I was so mad because, mind you, right, I live on the outskirts of Orlando, so she lived in Orlando, so she lived like closer to like Universal. That's a good 50 minute drive to my house from my house, and I'm out here driving, and all of a sudden I get there. I need her to open the gate, and she is asleep. You know how I was pissed, and she was like, "Well, you should have waited for me to text back." No, I don't know. You said that you told me to come at this time. I was here at this time. I was so hot. I was like, "You wasted my time. You were wasted." I could have been asleep, because now I got to drive all the way back at midnight. I don't like being out that late anyway, because cops out here be crazy. I got to drive all the way back already hot. Oh, I was so pissed. Never again. Never, ever, ever, ever again in life will I do something like that, because that was just. After that, I realized, nah, I probably just need a chick. Because before my ex, that's all I was dating was women with kids. I don't know why, and now I realize.
Why?
I don't know why.
You need to enjoy, and then. Okay, I can't say that women with kids are automatically going to be needy, because I'm not needy. Like the worst thing a man could do is try to do stuff for me to death. Like, ew, stop it. But you should be enjoying your time with women who have no like priority needs of humans.
That's hard though, because everybody got kids nowadays. Everybody
don't have kids. Everybody don't have kids. But the gamble with women who don't have kids and single life is they always think they should have more from a man.
That is so true.
Like, I know you're single, and I know you're this, and I know you have this, and I know you want to take me on a date, but I just feel like you should be able to rent a yacht for the night and pick me up and bring me an outfit, and then that's how we should go on a date. Like, they really feel like they have all the options in the world just because they have a job, they dress nice, and they have their own car, and they're single, and they don't have kids. And men think that too. I'm a single man. I have my job. I don't need for nothing. I can buy my own this. I have my own car. I'm just looking for someone that I can spend my time with, and da 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 da. But even that man feels like he should have like a level 10 woman all the time.
See, I've never been like that. I don't even a level 10 woman for me. That's too much. I don't. That's something that I won't be able to maintain what she want, because I'm not spending that type of bread, to be honest with you. So that ain't. that's not nowhere.
And I like that, because that's a very realistic approach. A lot of people, it's kind of like my friends. A lot of people might see my friends and be like, "Is she single?" I'm like, "No." Or even when she was single, I'd be like, you don't want to, that's not for you. Not because I'm blocking, but because I know who my friend is. Most of my friends keep a roster of niggas. And the men that are on the roster have pros and cons. And the reason why that roster still exists, especially with those men, with those friends that I have, is because he will never be 100% what she needs. So she's going to use him for what she has. And so me saying you don't want to deal with this woman, you could look at her, she's nice, is because I know that issue that comes with it, and I don't want you to be used. That says a lot about what I think about you. But if I be like, oh, you want to talk to her? Here's her. I really don't like you like that, and I don't care. And good luck, sir, because she's going to wash you out.
Yeah. See, nah. Like I used to, as before when I was younger, I used to try to get all. I used to be shallow, so I would be like, hey, I need all the big booty hoes. That was me. I need all the big booty bitches. And I realized real quick that had me nothing but heartache and pain, because they would just wipe me out clean. And now I'm just like, nah.
I'm telling you, I be trying to save my friends who are males and my brothers. Is she single? I'm like, sir, no. This is not for you. Don't even come over here. Don't waste your time. Okay, so when it comes to setting the expectation, right? I think that no man wants his life delegated.
I agree.
And so if a man doesn't want his life delegated, setting the expectation of kids and the possibility of it with any woman up front, I think if that woman is bothered so much that she doesn't want to deal with him because of that, then that's a win for him. If that woman knows his wants and still proceeds in an honest way, that's a win for him. That's why I have a problem with people who be like, oh no, I couldn't say that up front, or I feel like that would be too much to tell somebody up front. No! You're going to get in more trouble by not saying it.
Yep. Big facts. Yeah, big facts. Tell me up front. Exactly. Like even though I was like, I thought she was wilding, looking back, I respect her. I was like, you know what? You told me what it was up front. So therefore, if I knew if I didn't want to do this, I'll sign over my rights and then be a single parent and go on about my day. And that's just what it is. You tell me what I need to do up front, and I'm gonna do it. Especially if I want to be there. Like, I need you to do this and this. During the pregnancy, I need you to do this and this. Like, when she had told me, she was like, I know you don't know how to do anything. So she was like, if this ends up being healthy pregnancy, I need you to learn how to change diapers, do all this stuff before we even have the kid. Because when I tell you, I don't know how to change no diapers. I don't know how to do none of that stuff.
I hate dads that be like, her mom does that stuff for her. His mom does that stuff. Like, why are you excluding yourself from the parenthood?
Exactly. Because I want to be there for all of that. I want to be a very involved parent. So yeah, like, them diapers may stink, but I know eventually I'm gonna have to change these diapers. I'm not gonna just do everything on her because she's the mom. That's not fair. That, like, it takes two to make a baby.
Yeah. And another thing with women who be like, there's a lot of women out here who are the opposite, who are very proud to be like, yeah, you know, we had sex, I got pregnant, but I don't want his baby, so I had an abortion. And there's a lot of women that be like, I ain't got no kids. I ain't like these girls out here having babies for these men or whatever, and they brag about it, right? But at the same time, you done had so many abortions. By the time you really want to have kids, there's gonna be so much scarring there that you can't.
Yeah.
And that is what a lot of women don't want to have a conversation about, is the decisions you made in your past, living life and having sexual partners that you had that you really didn't want to have babies by, and you thought, you know, if the plan B didn't work and I still ended up pregnant, that I'm gonna get this abortion and it's going to be like a repeated thing. You've done it so much that now your body doesn't even have a healthy space for a baby.
That's real.
So when it comes to like good habits, like, how about you just be picky about the people that you just have raw sex with.
That's facts. That's facts. After that one situation, I got real picky. When I sat there, I was like, nah, she gonna stress me out. I learned real quick. Nope. I said, nah. I said, nah. I was like, Lord, I done learned my lesson. I was on knees praying, like, if you get me out of this, I'll trust me. I have learned my lesson. He got me out, and I said, woo, because I promise you my life will be living hell till this day. And I will still be like, Lord, what did I do? So that was a wake-up call for me. We have raw sex, that means like if we have a baby, I'm cool with it either way, as opposed to like, because I've never been one to be like, hey, she was the only one. I don't believe in abortion, but she was the only one I was like, hey, look, I don't believe in abortion, but if you want to go ahead and abort this baby, I will not hold you. I will not hold it against you. You like, you do what you got to do. If you feel like you don't want to do it, if you need help, you let me know. I got you. I'll help pay for it. That's how bad I was. Like, I done fucked up. I was scared for my fucking life. And I learned my lesson.
It's a hard decision to make, but that's why having a preventative talk before these things come about makes more sense. And no one wants to feel left out of like a child's plans or a child coming into this world. Like, money, things, popularity, and status are not good reasons to be pregnant and have a baby.
Exactly.
Like,
that baby don't care about none of that.
Right. Trapping a relationship is not the wave, but a lot of women are doing that out here with babies. Sex raw is for people who can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
When I say afford it, I'm saying like if you have sex raw and somebody squirts, you can afford a $50 pill. With tax, $53 and something cents. Okay, Don't ask me how I know, but I did what needed to be done. Okay. Some people can afford paying $500 for, an abortion. Some people can't. Some people live in a state where it's illegal to have an abortion. And when it comes to these abortions, men out here, be very careful that these women will plot on you when they feel like the relationship is going down the drain or is about to end, and they will be like, oh, I'm pregnant, right? And because of whatever reason, she'll be like, I don't think it's the right time. I don't want to have a baby right now. I need help, to handle the situation. And she'll convince this man to give her money for the abortion. Never, ever, ever give a woman money for an abortion, because there are a lot of women out here who just take men's money that's supposed to be for abortion and never get an abortion because there's never no baby.
Exactly. No, see,
women can buy fake pregnancy pee sticks. Women can buy fake ultrasounds. Women be faking doctor paperwork. If you don't physically go with this woman to a doctor's appointment and go with this woman to the place where she's going to get an abortion, do not put your money in her hands.
That I feel you. That's why I would be so active. Like, I was like, oh, okay, so you're pregnant. Let's go start to get a blood test, because blood's not going to lie. I just want to make sure, so that way if you is pregnant and you want an abortion, here we'll go together. Here goes the money. Bam, bam, bam. But I need to know, because you ain't about to finesse me, because there ain't no coming back from that.
A lot of men are, because especially if you don't have a real relationship with this woman, you feel like, I'm not trying to go to her appointments. I'm not trying to be all up in her space. But you wasn't thinking about none of that when you was all up in her guts.
Exactly. She gonna be mad at me because I'm being annoying as shit. Hey, what's the doctor's appointment? Oh, you were
as you should.
But I didn't expect you going. Well, bitch, I'm here now, so let's go.
As you
know what I'm saying? Like, hell no, you ain't leaving me out of this. I need to, number one, I need to know for sure. Number two, I'm about to be as involved as you is. You are going to hate me for going to every appointment, every chance I can. Like, it ain't about to be like, oh, you don't got to go to this one. I'm already here. I'm waiting on you to get here. What are you talking about?
Yeah. And a lot of women will, oh my God. I hate that this is happening, but a lot of women will not tell a man that, you know, she made sure she's sterilized so she can't have kids, and drag a relationship into a marriage, into a lifestyle where this man thinks like, oh, my wife just has a hard time getting pregnant. No, your wife, before she became your wife, made sure she will never have a baby.
Oh my gosh.
Like, there are women out here doing this. That's why a lot of times when women want to have procedures like, you know, getting rid of their fallopian tubes or a hysterectomy, if they're married, they need their husband to sign off on that shit.
So, remember the chick I was saying about I was dating with the 3 kids? She wanted to get fixed. And I told her, I was like, well, because she was young. She's what, 25 now? She's 25 now. So I was like, don't you think you would rather wait till you want to get married? I was like, what if you get married and your husband wants kids? Well, she was like, well, that's his problem. And I'm just like,
I had to think about that too. I'm not married. I've never been married. I'm not in a relationship. And I said, what if I meet a man and he wants more kids? The relationship would never even get to the point of a serious relationship if he wanted more kids, you know, for me, because I just know, like, I don't want that. It's not, I don't have a great relationship that's going to change my mind. Nothing will change my mind as for having more biological children, because I just know, for me, for my body, I don't like that process. And
like, I know. Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think a lot of women who be like, I just want a man to have this and this and this, and he can't have no kids, but you got 5.
Yo, who you what? Like, how you gonna tell me I can have kids? You got
That's
3 or 4
crazy.
running around.
That is crazy to me, for you to have so many children outside of a marriage or before this man, and you want this man to come to you on a clean slate. What man logically is going to take on a woman and 5 of her kids? I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I feel like that's a very selfish thing to ask for. For me personally, I would never entertain a man dating, meeting, dealing with in a sexual manner if he didn't already have kids, because I feel like that erases a lot of problems where he won't understand my way of communicating. He won't understand why he can't have all my time if he's not a dad already. He won't understand why I have to do things in a certain manner, why he can't meet my kids yet. Like, when I have a relationship with a man who already has kids, he's going to understand all of those things, and I won't have to like always have a talk while I'm trying to have a discussion. I could just have a discussion instead of trying to explain what I'm trying to discuss. Like, that's a very annoying thing when 2 people think on a different level. So for me, I will never date a man who does not already have kids because I have kids. I feel like that's fair. I feel like it's very unfair for me to be a mother of 2 and be like, I only want to date men who don't have kids. Like, excuse you?
Yeah, nah, you're right. You're right. You know what she told me? She told me, she was like, I don't want any kids, but she was like, I want to be with you, so I'm willing for you to go out and have some kids of your own, so that way we don't have kids together. I just thought that was wild to me.
Well, you know,
I was just
Tammy just did that with her husband. She gave her husband 1 to 2 years off from their marriage to go have a child with another woman and come back. And I think that's wild. But she always, their problem in the relationship is she's very much older than he is. And they care for each other, but he always wanted kids, and her kids are damn near like grown, and she didn't want any. So if this is their solution, because I believe that it's really not my business, and it's nobody else's business of how they do stuff in their marriage. If it works for them, it works. But my thing is like, that's what works for them, so that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, because I mean, I didn't like when I was talking to her time. I was like, I don't understand it, but now I understand it, because like when your kids hit like 8 or 9, you don't really want to start all over again. Like they you know what I'm saying? Like they, at this point, they kind of self-sufficient. They kind of understand what they need to do, and it's like, damn, I got to start all over again and change diapers. I would be pissed. I understand now. I would be pissed. I'd be mad as hell if it's 8 or 9 and all of a sudden we just pop another one out. Like, nah, shit's got to get talked about. Like,
man, this is how I think about it. I'm 34 right now. In the next 5 years, like, I'm gonna be damn near close to my 40s, right? What I look like doing diaper stuff and daycare and arranging my schedule to pick up a third child in my 40s, when I should be like focusing on catching my children doing teenager like things. Like, I agree with you. I feel like maturity wise, you have to think about your future and what your future is going to look like. And most people don't have a mature discussion about the possibility of a baby. And people get into a panic when a baby comes up, and they get into like erase this problem mode. And erase this problem mode will have people panic and doing dumb things.
I agree. Like, I'm 30, I'm 2 months into being 32, and I'll be thinking like, yo, I know I can have a kid realistically whenever I want, but if I don't have a kid by like 36, I just don't think I'm gonna have any, because
No. I tell my nephews this all the time. I'm just like, dog, don't have kids until your late 30s. My dad made me at 60.
Damn.
My dad made me at 60, and I have a brother and sister that's closer to my mom's age. Okay? Men, as long as you're healthy and the doctor doesn't say you have a low sperm count and you didn't go to multiple doctors to find that out, don't ever worry about not being able to have kids, unless you just have a thing where you just know you don't want to be the old parent at the kids' games, or you don't want to be the old parent picking up your kid from school and be like, who is that, your grandpa? Like, you know what I'm saying? If that's something that you're worried about, then by all means have your age limit. But I feel like men, that's a bonus that men have, where you don't have to limit yourself on age as far as when you have children. I think for men, the main focus for men is like, do I really want to do the work that comes with being a parent? And do I financially have myself set up to take care of a family and a child? Women, we have that to question ourselves when we want a baby, and we also have like the body question, like, can my body handle carrying a child? Am I healthy? You know, what is my family health history like? Do they have like diabetes, hypertension? All of those things can kill a woman carrying a baby, or kill her and her baby. So we have a lot more questions that we have to think about when we want to be pregnant. And then we also have like that mid-30s fear. If you're a Black woman, you have that mid-30s fear automatically, because Black women die at a higher rate in America when they are pregnant and they go into labor than any other race worldwide, period. Even in like third world countries, like, we die the most here. And so I don't know, like, it sucks, and it's just more so like, men and women, make your boundaries, have your discussions with people, and don't be letting nobody raw dog you if you don't like them for real. Don't get pregnant by people you don't know their social security number yet. Okay, it sounds crazy, but to me, the longer you're around a person, the more you're involved in their family, the more, you know, you see how they prioritize the things that really matter. If you are never around when they have to do like important paperwork and things, and if they dropped off the map and you couldn't find them and you didn't know their real last name, like, don't ever get pregnant by people that you only know their nicknames and their friend's house location. Like, are you crazy?
That's facts. That's fucking
Like,
facts.
if I get pregnant by you, I need to know where your mom stay, your dad stay, where the last 3 jobs you worked at, your closest friends. I need to know your first, last name, your middle name. I have a picture of your ID. Like, don't play with me.
I never thought of it like that's facts. You're right. You absolutely right. That is facts.
But the reality is, there's people out here getting pregnant by people that they don't even know who they are for real.
Exactly.
And that's
then by
scary.
the time they see it, it's too late. They be like, "Damn, why?" They be like, "Why did I let you get me pregnant?" And by that point, it's too late.
Yeah, and people be so willing to share their bodies and stuff, but so scared to have a conversation of, when was the last time you had your sexually transmitted disease test?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like, ooh, that's just too much. I couldn't ask that up front. Like, that's invasive. But you sharing your body with somebody is not invasive.
Exactly. Like, yeah, you definitely need to ask that up front. Like, for real, for real.
And even if you ask it, there's so many apps now where if you needed to swap that information with somebody, you can swap that information with somebody. Like, the person that I deal with sexually, I let them know when I was getting all my testing done and if they would like to see the results, because I feel like that's my responsibility if I'm sharing my body with you.
You hit it right on the head. You hit it right on the head.
You know, a lot of men out here, males, okay, because I think men are mature, males are just who they are biologically. I feel like they bank on a woman getting her sexual transmitted disease test and being in the clear and think that's, oh, they in the clear. No,
that's
sir.
So immature.
So immature. Disease sits in the body to 6 months to a year before it shows up on a test. So I feel like the way men have the freedom of not being stained with a child physically, you're going to have more sexual encounters with more women or more men, depending on what you do in life. And I think men should be the ones who get tested a lot more than women, because I just feel like men just have naturally to be more sexually active than a woman. But I don't feel like men test themselves enough.
We don't.
And I just feel like, why? Most men work jobs that pay great, have great health insurance, and cover all of that yearly stuff. You don't even pay out of pocket to get that stuff done. So,
right, I get tested regularly, but I think when it comes to most men, I would say are, I want to say afraid, but they really don't want to confront the idea of, what if I have something? So instead of them going to the doctor and getting tested, they rather just wait to see if something pops up, which is complete bullshit.
It's crazy, because it's kind of like a man doesn't want to know if they have something, but you won't have no problem meeting 4 women this week.
Exactly. You're being sexually irresponsible.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's really what it is. You're being sexually irresponsible.
That's why I'm just like, y'all over here, y'all scared of the dark. Y'all scared of Freddy Krueger and Jason. And I'm over here scared of my life. To be having a one-night stand with a complete stranger. What? Are you crazy?
I feel you, Shannon. I agree with you.
It's 2021, and there are still men and women out here who are purposely HIV positive and have deadly sexually diseases that they're not taking care of. Because I feel like you can have HIV and take care of yourself by taking your medicine and stuff. There are people who know they have it, don't take care of themselves, and out here purposely having sex with people to spread it.
That's just wild as fuck.
And it is illegal, but people are out here doing it, and the only people that get caught are the ones that get caught. So my thing is like, why be so irresponsible with your body and give people a part of you that people should earn?
Yeah, I agree with you. Because that shit's sacred, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm giving you a piece of me that I'm not getting back. Like, I'm saying, like, you'll forever have a piece of me. And I don't think a lot of people will look at it like that.
You know, like, you deal with one wrong person that's ignorant. They be like, girl, shut your ass up. That's why I beat. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
What can you say after a man be like, I beat, so? You can't say nothing. You can't say nothing. Yeah, you could call him anything in the book, but if you gave that man the best head that he's gotten this week, he can always be like, but you still gave me head. Mm-hmm. You still let me get parts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't take care of our first kid, I didn't take care of our second kid, and I didn't take care of our third kid, but you still let me come over whenever, eat up all the food and suck down all the Capri Suns, and still you let me beat.
Mm-hmm. Just wild as fuck.
Women have to take responsibility of themselves and be like, ain't no point in me talking bad about him if I'm gonna let him in.
Yeah, I agree. And then also we just got to do better. When I was younger, I always thought you need to pick better baby daddies. But as I got older, I really realized niggas be changing when the baby come. They be acting one way, and then when the baby come, they act completely different. It's like a brand new person, and you're like, who the fuck are you? This is not who I
because this is what happens. When a man goes from not having a kid to now a woman is pregnant and they're going to be responsible for a child, and they're worried about how people see them, view them, and think about them, they get into panic mode. And sometimes that panic mode is the pressure that makes diamonds and makes that man a better man. And sometimes that pressure is something that they don't want to deal with, so they will bullshit the whole 9 months. They will not save money. They will not prepare as if they're having a kid. They want to go out and celebrate the fact that, yeah, I'm about to have a kid. But maturity and responsibility is the most annoying thing to confront, because it costs you time. It costs you not having fun to do something that needs to get done. It costs you having to sacrifice not doing something you wanted to do this year because you have a bigger, more important thing to come up with. And a lot of men feel like it's just easier to not do shit than to try to make some shit work. There's no in between. There's no, oh, I do it sometimes, or I do it all the time, or I don't do it at all. There is, you don't do it at all, or you do it to perfection.
I agree with you.
Because if you have a man where y'all have a child together and he does it sometimes, that's worse than him. That's worse than him not doing it. Because it's kind of like, why would you get my hopes up to feel like we are moving forward and you double back? So some men do become better people when they become fathers, and some men just turn into like someone you don't know when they become fathers, because they can't handle the pressure of being demanded to that status.
It's definitely a lot of pressure.
Now,
And I didn't realize that till as I got older. Like as I got older, I was like, okay, it really don't be that these women don't be picking ain't shit niggas. These niggas turn into ain't shit men. That's really what it be.
It's a very adult temper tantrum. Women have temper tantrums too. But to see like a man you respect, you care about, you had good times with, everything was all good. And to even see them take care of a previous child without problems, and then y'all about to have a kid and they just act a whole ass, is kind of like, dog. Tell me when your temper tantrum gonna be over, because the kid's still gonna be here, the kid's still gonna have needs, and the kid's still gonna be hungry. So tell me when you done with your temper tantrum that you having.
Now, I will say this. I always give women benefit doubt on the first one. But if you know this nigga ain't shit and only take care of kid one, and then you give him a second baby, no, that's on you, sis. You don't fuck that.
Man, I have a cousin that was pressured into marrying the guy that she got pregnant by, which was her boyfriend at the time, right? Her mother and her grandmother pressured her into marrying him. And they had a first kid together, and there was like drama, infidelity and stuff. Then they had a second kid, and it was still the infidelity, the drama. And I remember one time she found that he was cheating with a girl down the block. And she saw his car parked there, and you know, I stayed at the house. She went over there to confront him and everything. And I want to say, like, later that month, she got a sexually transmitted disease from him fooling around.
Damn.
And she ended up pregnant again, and she didn't want to have to deal with another baby and him not, you know, standing up as a husband, as a father, 100% in it. So she had an abortion, not because she didn't want the baby, just because like he wasn't shit. And I felt bad for her in multiple ways, but at the same time, for your wife to feel like she don't want to have your additional baby because she doesn't have the support from you that she need, and that doesn't bother you, like, I was like, dog, you have to be like the worst of the worst.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. Like,
you know?
that's crazy.
And my thing is, like, for men like that, if you feel like, because a lot of men feel like this, a lot of men feel like they should be able to have families, they should be able to have a woman that can't be with anybody else, can't have sex with anybody else, and they should also be able to have sex with other women. If you feel like that, I feel like that's something you need to say when y'all dating. You know, give me the respect of having the choice. I think that's where a lot of women get very upset with men when it comes to them wanting multiple women or wanting the freedom to be sexually free, is they don't give them the choice of being in that relationship with them, knowing that up front. So you basically, nothing is ever a trap, because you can always get out, you know, but you trap a person with their emotions, a possible child y'all share, their lifestyle set up to be a family unit, and you out here just slanging dick for the community. And she in this house doing her best that she thinks she's supposed to do in order to make shit right. And when women find out they're wasting their time making shit right for the wrong man, then that's when we'll see some real shit pop off. You know what I'm saying? And men too. When men see that they're doing the right things for the wrong woman, that's when you'll stop being jaded with the women after that woman.
Yep.
Because honestly, I feel like a lot of people are just jaded out here where they did the right things for the wrong person, and now they have the freedom of being single and meeting new people, and they have PTSD. Like,
Yo, that's facts.
I need a break. I need a timeout. I don't know when I'm gonna get back in the game, but I'm just gonna sit on this bench.
That's fucking facts.
You know? So for me, I feel like I'm building a house on the bench. You know? I'm chilling.
Just chilling. I ain't mad at that.
It's just too much. It's like I can't afford to be emotionally invested and physically invested in another man that possibly can't live in his truth. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with men who feel like they should have multiple women or multiple wives or have the lifestyle they want. I have a problem with men who feel that way and can't say it up front.
Yeah, you gotta be upfront with that.
Yeah,
give her the option to either stay or leave. I agree with you on that.
So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's all I got. This was fun.
We got a message. I'm gonna play it. Hopefully it's not no trash. Let's see.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now that's the reverse of my situation, because I already knew I'm finna have twins, but I don't necessarily think I want twins. But if that's how it go, then that's what it is. You hear me?
Man, I don't even know what that went to, but
so I'm thinking that was part of the conversation when I was saying that how like I want twins and that's it. And I think he was saying that he's about to have twins but don't want twins.
Oh, that's a different type of parent pressure right there. Because let me tell you something. One kid going to daycare
is expensive as shit.
Depending on where you live, can run you $900 to $1,200 a month.
It's a mortgage, man. It's another mortgage.
It is. And then on top of that, with them going to daycare, it's for specified times. So that means you would have to find a job that will allow you to get off and come in at a time to drop that kid off and pick that kid up before they start charging you $1 per minute. It's crazy.
It's crazy. I feel like daycare is a scam. Right up there with the
it is a scam. And even when your even when your child is sick and they're not physically there, you still gotta pay them.
Yes, no. Let me tell you what happened, right? And we'll end it on this. So I was dating a chick, and this was right before she started school. I want to say she was about like 4. So she was in daycare. And she went to go live with her dad for the summer. And this is when I first found out. I was like, wait, what? You still have to pay? Even though she's not going to be here for the summer? She was like, yeah, because if I don't, she comes back, she loses her place, and they on a waiting list. I was like, oh, hell no. Yeah. That to me, that was wild. I'm like, so I'm losing money because she's with her dad for the summer, but I got to pay daycare so she don't lose her place when she come back. I was like, oh, nah. Nah. I was like, daycare's a scam. That's some shit.
Yeah. Like right now, both of the girls, they not in after school anymore, and they not in physical school because in Georgia, technically, your child doesn't have to go to pre-K. But with this whole COVID stuff, I'm just like, my kids don't even get sick when they're out of school. It's when they go to school that they get sick. So I'm just like, dog, both of my kids go be home with me. Period. So, man, but yeah, set the expectation all the time. Boundaries. You know,
definitely got to have boundaries. Definitely got to have boundaries. Definitely set that expectation.
Sometimes losses are gains. You know what I'm saying? And you can take that however you want to take that with this episode. Let these people know where to find you in the podcast, and we could get out of here.
All right, y'all can find me on Instagram. So my personal Instagram is The Original Playmaker. My Twitter is your fave Average Joe. On Instagram for the Thoughts of an Average Joe, Average JTPC. Y'all can find me there. December 8th. I'm coming back every Wednesday from there on out at 6 a.m. And then the Baby Daddy Chronicles podcast. That's going to be Baby Daddy Chronicles Pod. Y'all can find me there. Episodes come out every other Monday at 6 a.m.
That's it. She Gets It podcast and Cozy One podcast. Cozy One podcast drop every Monday. A new myth is coming up Monday. Not gonna tell you what it is. I will be dropping this bonus episode